And we can take you to Kiev right now, where we're joined by our correspondent, Jack Barton. Welcome again, Jack. Well, the situation on the ground appears to be rather fluid, to say the least, and it must be very hard for you, as well as other correspondents there, to stay ahead of the events that are taking place. Have you been able, Jack, to verify what the protesters and opposition are saying, that they now have full control of Kiev?
That's right, Edwin. It's been only a little over 24 hours since the President and the key opposition leaders, as well as the foreign ministers of France, Germany and Poland, signed that agreement, but events have been moving very swiftly indeed. What we've seen is we have actually not seen the President since that signing. We don't know where he has gone. There have been the reports you mentioned earlier that he may be in eastern Ukraine. There are other reports that he may have left the country altogether, and even in the United Arab Emirates, but at the moment these are all rumours. We just don't know where he is. What we do know, though, is a hardline group of demonstrators this morning who weren't happy with that peace deal carried out their promise of marching on the President's office. Of course, he wasn't there, but neither were his staff, and the police had all melted away. In fact, they'd melted away across the city late last night, just leaving behind them the trash, the mattresses, the signs of where they had been dug in for those last 2 months, but no trace of them. And in fact, the Interior Minister today has called on some of the more organised groups amongst the protesters to impose control or order over the city to ensure there's no looting or chaos. We've even seen some of the demonstrators directing traffic across the city. So we don't know where the President is, but we do know that thousands more demonstrators are continuing to flood into the square behind me, not just from the west of the country, but also from the east and from the south, areas that were previously thought to be strongholds of the President.
Jack, just tell us a little bit more about what happened in the Parliament this morning. Obviously, as you're indicating now, there's a lot of activity and some big changes afoot.
We don't know that. The best information...
That's right, the President may be missing, but the Parliament is still sitting, and now the President no longer has his majority. On top of that, a new Speaker was voted in this morning, as you mentioned before, an ally of the imprisoned former Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko. And they've been pushing through bill after bill this morning, bills that bring back the 2004 Constitution, bills to release Yulia Tymoshenko, as well as to give compensation to the families of the victims of this violence. But they're also enacting measures that seem to be preparing to strip away the President's power. And they say if he doesn't, well, some MPs say if he doesn't reappear within the next several hours, they will enact those emergency measures and begin impeachment proceedings against him. So there is certainly a lot underway at the Parliament, and the future of Ukraine, certainly in the coming weeks, the coming months, are very much going to be depending on whether or not the President reappears again within the coming hours.
All right, Jack, we'll leave it there. Many thanks indeed, our correspondent Jack Barton, who is in Kiev. And